PCL 650 presents your source for leading-edge news and information on today's hottest products and services. This is Experts on Call.
And welcome to Experts on Call. I'm Joanne Sutton, and our theme on the show today is demystifying insurance and also debunking myths of insurance. Joining us in the studio from Intact Insurance is Patrick Magnuson. We also are joined by Wendy McCracken today, Unit Claims Manager from Vancouver, also Intact Insurance, and our resident broker, Andrew Tablotny from Laguerre Pelling Insurance. So thanks to all three of you for joining us today.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you. Great to have you here. And as we start every show, we just want to know a little bit more about you and about the company. So Patrick, what can you tell us about yourself and a little bit about Intact as well?
Well, Joanne, Patrick Magnuson. I'm a Director of Corporate Personal Lines with Intact Insurance. I'm not local. I happen to live in Kelowna, but I still work for Intact throughout the West, from basically Manitoba north and west. So I've been with Intact for about 18 years, and basically my roles and responsibilities are to help set the policy, the product, work with the actuaries for the rating. And Intact Insurance, well, Intact Insurance is Canada's largest insurance company. Our goal really is to make sure that once you have a claim in that unfortunate circumstance, is make sure that you get back to your normal life as soon as possible, and as quickly as possible, and as painlessly as possible.
Thanks, Patrick. Wendy McCracken, first time with us. Thanks for being here. You're a Unit Claims Manager from Vancouver. What can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I have been with Intact for 5 years now. I've been in the industry about 14 years. So I manage a team of field adjusters in the Lower Mainland. So we have about 20 field adjusters that are out there from Whistler to Hope, basically handling claims.
And Andrew?
Andrew Tablotny, I'm a local broker here in Richmond. I've been a broker for 35 years, owned my brokerage for 25. It's a family-run business. I have two sons and my wife that both work with me. Actually, I consider my staff almost family as well. A lot of them have been with me for over 15 years. We deal on a very personalized basis, and these days with technology, you can at our office, you phone, you call in, you still get somebody answering the phone, because we want that personal touch with our clients.
Excellent. Thanks to all three of you. So we're getting right down to the basics here and talking about the general topic of insurance on the show today. We hope to attempt to answer a host of questions that were submitted on Facebook and social media, and also trying to debunk some of the myths surrounding insurance. And I think there's a lot of them, and I think it's a great topic for today. So let's just start with some of the general questions about insurance, like how do I get insurance? Where do I buy insurance?
Sure, I'll take that. Well, you have to buy insurance through somebody who holds an insurance license that allows them to sell automobile insurance and or home insurance, depending on which sort of insurance you're looking for. In my opinion, the best choice for that would be to find an independent insurance broker. This is what they're experts at, and this is what they do. So they're an excellent source of advice and information, and they can help you determine what is the right protection for you. That may not always be the lowest price and the lowest amount of coverage, but what is the right amount of protection for your unique and individual circumstances. So if you wanted to find an Intact Insurance broker, you go to the intactinsurance.ca website, and there's a Find a Broker. There's a link.
Like a link.
Yeah, there's a link that you can go and you can put in your postal code, and it'll put the closest Intact broker. But really, any broker that has a licensed independent insurance broker would be able to provide you with a good start.
So are all brokers equal? Now, Andrew, this would be a great question for you as our resident broker. Is this like shopping for an investor or a contractor, or how do you know when you've found a good one?
Well, it depends to what extent you want advice and and have confidence in that person. I mean, some people buy their own stocks because they think they know more than the professionals, and some people are good at it, but majority aren't. As we the statistics hold out. It's no difference on when you're buying insurance. I mean, you can buy insurance online, but at the end of the day, do you really know what you're getting? So how do you get a good broker? Well, I think the easiest way is to ask your family and friends, like, how do you like your broker? I mean, a lot of my business is, every day we get new clients calling in because they're being referred from existing clients who are happy with the level of service and the confidence of our brokerage.
Right, so getting an endorsement from somebody you know.
Yeah.
It's a great place to start, or online, as Patrick had mentioned. So a couple other things here. When it comes to insurance speak, I know there's a lot of terms in this industry that might need explanation, like what is meant by guaranteed replacement cost. Let's just start there. Don't you have to pay me what my house is actually worth when you make a claim?
Well, guaranteed replacement cost is that's a term that's specific to homeowners insurance, and really that's a sort of a claim settlement term. So when you buy insurance, you insure your home for the rebuilding, the cost it would be to rebuild that same home on the same site with the same materials. So that's not necessarily what your home is worth. That's not what you necessarily paid for the home. It's what it would cost to rebuild that home, obviously including margins for overhead and profit from a contractor. If the cost of lumber or drywall has gone up, or the cost of copper wiring has gone up, there may be some other bylaws and things that are associated with it. So guaranteed replacement cost, basically, let's say you insure your home for $500,000, and you did everything right. The broker did everything right, and you assessed the value that it would cost to rebuild your home. But because of whatever reason, it's now actually going to cost $700,000 to rebuild your home. Guaranteed replacement cost means that we will rebuild that home at $700,000, even though you were insuring it for $500,000.
And that's where a broker comes in, because there's that guaranteed replacement cost is generally on the home, but it doesn't apply necessarily to seasonal dwellings and rental dwellings. And if you go online, you may you may know about guaranteed replacement cost and assume that that's what you're getting. But at the end of the day, when the claim comes, you may find out alternately, that isn't the actual case.
And Wendy, you've had a history in claims adjustment.
Mm-hmm. Some of the examples where we ran into this were the Kelowna fires 10 years ago, the fires in Slave Lake. So as Patrick was saying, I mean, a good example is, you insure your house for $500,000, but because of, things like fluctuating construction costs, the availability of material when it comes time to rebuild the house, and just the basics of supply and demand. When it comes time to rebuild that house, it might cost $700,000 or $600,000 to rebuild it. So having the guaranteed replacement costs, it guarantees that we will pay that amount to rebuild your house.
You've all made some very significant points here, which brings us back to the bottom line of why do we really need insurance? And I know all of you have a comment on that.
Well, yeah, for me, the reason to have insurance is you're protecting what is, for most people, their largest asset, which is their home, as well as the contents that are in your home, as well as any personal liability that you have. So it's peace of mind. You're not going to have a claims type situation every year, but you know that if you did have one, that you're going to be able to be put back into the same position.
Andrew, anything to add?
Well, I guess we've said this, we've talked about this before. We've seen two apartment fires in the last week or 10 days, and again we've had pleas to help people because they couldn't afford to spend the cost of a case of beer on some contents insurance. So it just seems I just can't understand how people can't spend that take that time and money and invest that, because insurance is to protect you against the unforeseen, and people need to realize that.
Yeah, I think simply put, it's peace of mind.
You're listening to Experts on Call on CL 650 with Patrick Magnuson from Intact Insurance, Wendy McCracken from Intact Insurance, and our broker Andrew Tablotny from Laguerre Pelling Insurance. Today's topic is demystifying insurance and debunking some of the myths. We're trying to simplify insurance on the show today and answering your questions. And up next, we have a general but important question about car and home insurance. This is Experts on Call on CL 650.
This is Experts on Call on CL 650.